It is time. Nvidia earnings, the biggest event in the history of the world, as some are calling it. But seriously, it's going to be a really interesting afternoon. Excited to see what happens with the market once earnings come in. We'll be discussing that, the latest Fed minutes, what that could mean for interest rates moving forward, and much more today on Money Never Sleeps. Welcome back to Money Never Sleeps, everybody. Before we get going, do us a favor. Like, subscribe. Nothing Kevin or I say is financial advice. Do your own research, all of that. Kev, in the next 15 or so minutes, we should have Nvidia earnings. We'll know if they hit or not, if those sky-high expectations have been exceeded. A lot of hype and speculation around this. Goldman is saying it's the most important stock in the world. The numbers they have to beat are just insane. I don't know what I'm like as someone who's still holding Nvidia shares. I don't know how to feel at the moment. It's going to be, what's the scenario where like not much really happens? Like they come in, even if they come in right at it's either they come in right at expectations and people still probably aren't going to be that happy. It'll still probably go down. If they miss, it's going to tank. And if they fly past them somehow, which I don't even know how that's possible with where they are, I'm just rambling. I don't know what to say. I might be sleeping under a bridge tonight, but how are you feeling today?
I'm doing great. I think this episode could probably be one of our highest viewed, most played back episodes, so I got to behave a little bit here. But glad to see
Just
some
let it
people.
rip. Fuck it. Let's read it.
All
We're
right.
going to let it rip today. Like, what is this? What are we trying to be here?
I'm waiting for the numbers, then I'll go fucking full degen Kevin. But glad to see some guys in the chat. Mark, thank you for being here. Excited to have you. It's gonna be exciting numbers today. I've been wrestling with this all day, and I've been sending you and House an insane amount of texts and tweets about what I think was going on with Nvidia. Right? And I'm sorry, yeah, you have to hear me talk shit about your bags all the time, even when we're not on the clock. But yeah, when I look at Nvidia, man, and we talk about this all the time. Look at super microcomputer, whatever that bullshit is. Take a look at Palo Alto yesterday. All these charts very similar, right? Just straight up. We're starting to see those pull back, and we're seeing it already in Nvidia. $170 billion worth of market cap gone in the past few days, right? You wouldn't necessarily have that much of a pullback if you were bullish on this moving forward. Now, the question is, if Nvidia does pull back significantly, we have to find support somewhere. The other thing is, if it does pull back significantly too, just like the other ones, we can kind of kiss leverage goodbye. We know that the banking crisis is coming up. And here's the thing people don't understand. If Nvidia tanks, probably tanks tech with it, right? But it's in crypto, I will say as well. House sent me a really good, interesting tweet that I completely agree. A lot of AI and a lot of crypto are probably going to tank as well. But when the banks go, everything goes. So we're really in this weird place where if we see Nvidia pull back and that number just pulls back significantly, my nightmare scenario, the reason I put that on the thumbnail, is we go down 26%. It's a big move. It's not a nice move at all in the market, but that's the next part where we have a lot of support. It's right around that 503 level. So that's worst case scenario. Obviously, 630 to 605, there's a bit of support there, but we have to see how this holds. And if it does go back all the way down to 26%, it kind of shows you that the bank crisis is probably going to be just as bad too, because that's showing you that the leverage is out the system. The banks perceive risk higher than maybe some other people are doing. And that means that you're just not going to see those parabolic runs anymore. So that's my little base case before earnings come out. Not necessarily the most uplifting or inspiring of
That's
talks.
so surprising coming from you. I mean, I'm usually used to you giving the most uplift. Yeah, no shit. I'm used to you being, Mr. Sunshine and Rainbows over there. So to hear you say something bearish, what a fucking shocker. We got about probably 10 more minutes till earnings are released. I'm just sitting over here frantically refreshing the investor relations page, watching the chart. It's up in the after hours. I guess people are anticipating good news. We'll see. That's going to move violently in either direction once we get official word on it right now. Let's talk about Fed minutes for a second, because that did come out today. And not surprising if you listen to this show, higher for longer. Who would have thought? And the markets had to respond to that as well. Like, big fucking surprise. What they've been saying forever was reiterated minutes, and then the market finally responded. Couldn't have seen that coming. So, they haven't taken off the table raising again. Their biggest fear is cutting too soon. So we're now, we've seen the movement up to 94% chance of no rate hike in March. Let's see. I'm going to just go ahead a little bit. In May, it's now up to 71% chance of no cut. That was up from 65% just yesterday. And we're still seeing a decent probability of one come June, but that has been ticking down as well. It's up. It was 23% yesterday for no rate for the same rates, about 28.5 today. So we are seeing some movement in that direction. So where are you kind of viewing the rates, and how much do you think that they even matter at this point as far as what the rate probability expectations are for the market?
Yeah, I mean, I think rates and the probabilities, everyone worried about inflation. Some people not worried about inflation in that camp. I think it really doesn't matter, right? I think we end up at the same place either way. The problem is, by them, they're in a really tricky place where they're 1 foot in, 1 foot out when it comes to whether they want to raise rates, they want to keep them elevated, do they want to start cutting? They keep pushing back the date. I mean, let's put it this way, and I don't want to, I won't say go into it too much, but the Fed pretty much pivoted back in, November, December, in that time frame, and the fucking markets ripped right after, right? They said that, we don't see inflation being an issue. Inflation's now kind of an issue. Now they're kind of worried about it, and now they're kind of backstepping. They're not trying to screw you over. Like we've said, they've been pretty spot on what their plans have been, but I don't necessarily see another rate hike. And that might be optimistic of me. And I don't align with a lot of bears who are saying that we're going to get another rate hike. I don't think inflation is really a problem. I think it's a perceived problem. A lot of people are really worried about it. I think that demand is not going to meet supply, and we're going to have to see, the price of a lot of the goods have to come down. And I think that's eventually what we're leading to. And what that implicates is that we're probably going to see unemployment rise fairly soon, right? I don't think that there's a place where if they do raise rates, something doesn't break. I think if they raise rates, something breaks. I also think that if they wait too long, something breaks. I also think that if they start cutting, they realize that something's been broken and they're trying to race to zero to the point where it actually matters. It's you can't raise the rates that high that fast for as quick as they did without something giving at some point. Obviously, the banks were at last year, and the funny thing about the banks were the rates weren't even as high as they currently are. So we're in a really complicated place right now. I think the rates are just something that we kind of talk about, but I think that what's been said and done is already kind of in motion. So again, not optimistic, but I think that none of it really matters. I think we're just waiting to see something give in, and I think that comes next month. We're gonna have to just see how liquidity plays out in the system.
We've also in the last few days seen a lot of the mega cap tech CEOs and founders selling shares. We had Bezos, who sold like $8 billion of Amazon, which people, let's pump the brakes. That HGH he's on is not free. He's got to pay for that shit. And that's really expensive. That guy is shooting TRT into him nonstop. So, we got Bezos and his steroid addiction that needs to be paid for. But yeah, Zuckerberg, Gates, they've also been selling billions. Some people are pointing to the last time they did this was before the previous market dump. I think even back in late 2021, before like the market really ate shit in 2022, they also did this. So, these guys aren't dummies. Is that a bad omen? A warning sign? I'm not too sure. But man, curious what your thoughts are on that. Anything else that catches your eye as we head into the final 5 minutes before earnings come out?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just go through this real quick. With them selling and everything like that, that's not necessarily a great sign at all. I remember, what was it? Bezos's party, and I think Paul was even asked about this right before around COVID. You know, that was around the time that Bezos started selling once again. Then we kind of got the crashing COVID in March of 2020. It's kind of leading up that way. We're seeing volatility kind of in a similar position. So I'm very interested to see if that's, a parallel that we can kind of trace back to 4 years ago. The other thing is just Jim Cramer's thinks that the AI peak hasn't seen it's hasn't peaked yet. So that's bullish for a lot of people who are definitely long Nvidia. Also, he put out a really good tweet today. It's kind of making me think about Nvidia. It says that the number of out of the money calls today right now are absolutely insane, right? Well, that might be a lot of people gambling here. And, if people are hoping that these 0 day to expirations for tomorrow do extremely well, maybe they think it's easy money, but I think a lot of people are speculating on that half. But there's other things in the world that I think we should talk about. Going over to China, it's actually a two-pronged thing here.
Oof, watch out. Here's the thing. Chris sold all of his Amazon, so we're probably going parabolic next.
I will say this, when the market does bottom, Amazon's probably the one I'm most bullish on. I love Amazon in terms of the marketplace. I think it's really I think it's hard to beat Amazon. It's the Walmart of online, so we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I definitely think that Bezos knows something regardless, though. Let's go over to China. Surprise, right? Oh shit, did I delete it? I did. Oh no, here it is. All right, China tightens grip on stocks with net sale ban at open and close. All I need to know in the Chinese stock markets are the Hang Seng, Shanghai, and all those. First 30 minutes a day, first 30 minutes, and the last 30 minutes, you cannot sell any stocks. Wonderful, right? I'm sure everything is doing
That's
great
a good
over
sign.
there.
A good sign.
Great sign. Even better, anyone who is caught short selling, they're going to keep tabs on you. They're tracking the people who are short selling over there. Yeah. Also, the interesting thing too is how there's so much liquidity that's pumping in there, but the yuan is kind of staying flat at 7.19. Usually that doesn't happen when you inject liquidity and the markets rip. Usually you devalue the currency, but it's staying right around there for right now. I'll let you make any assumptions off of that. But that's one thing that we're keeping an eye on here. The other thing that we got earnings that no one's talking about today is a British and Chinese bank known as HSBC, where their shares fall most since 2020 after profits plummet 80%.
Ooh.
That is a big bank. And guess what they have a ton of exposure to? Evergrande. So everything is super interconnected in this market. We know that.
What was that?
Are you a wrestling fan? That was the Cody Rhodes. Hey, it's Elimination Chamber.
I've not watched Cody Rhodes. I've not watched wrestling in a long time. Okay, go ahead. I was thinking that was Wheels on the Bus just from having a kid.
It can be that too, but you just got to get the little elbow at the end. Yeah, so HSBC drops this much. I mean, today it was down, I think, like 6. At one point, it was down 9% in the U.S. stock market. This is a big bank. This is a bank that has tons of exposure to Evergrande. Obviously, they're British, Hong Kong. I think that's what it's within the name. That's what their bank is. But between them, and then even if you look at Deutsche Bank, who has tons of CRE exposure, the most out of any of the banks in Europe, there's a lot of problems when it comes to liquidity and a lot of these big banks that are losing a lot of money. These profits are dropping significantly. If one of these guys go, bank runs, probably what we're taking a look at in the not too distant future. So I'd be very concerned with this. Nowhere on the news today because Nvidia is the most important thing in the world. So just keep an eye on that. And also, just because we're having fun, when we look to China, there's one last thing that's happening. Finally, someone listen to me. Circle is discontinuing support for USDC on the Tron blockchain. Wow, I wonder why they're doing that. Come down here. Where is it? Looking forward. As part of our risk management framework, Circle continually assesses the suitability of all blockchains where USDC is supported. Our decision to discontinue support for USDC on Tron is the result of our enterprise-wide approach that involves the business organization, compliance, and other functions across our company. This comes days after the UK says they want to do regulation on crypto, stablecoins. And we also know that Tether is printing a shit ton of money. And at the same time, all the funky stuff is going on at the Tron blockchain. And House actually pointed this out to me last night, and this is the last thing I'll talk about because there's more important things today. We talked about that $1 billion that was minted by Tether I think it was 2 days ago or something like that. Everything else is red. However, look what's up today. 5.72%. Binance is up today while the rest of the crypto market is pretty noticeably red. Now, we're $374.
Probably totally normal activity. Nothing to see there.
Exactly. And here's the thing, me and him talked about this last night too. There is a really interesting scenario where, a lot of this is probably backed by Bitcoin and other alts and stuff like that, but they do own still like over 75% of the market cap. I probably wouldn't be surprised if it's even more than, maybe it's closer to 80, maybe a little bit over that. We'll take a look at Arkham later. But when we look at this here, I mean, this isn't going to sell off unless there's something wrong with their balance sheet, right? Why would they sell off and devalue pretty much this currency that's worth, I don't know, what is it, like $40 billion in terms of market cap now? It's probably even more than that. Let me see, BNB crypto cap. Oh, I'm stupid. $56 billion worth of market cap. Is it worth that? I don't know. We probably won't find out unless they absolutely just, implode. But there's a lot of funky stuff still going on with the Tether exchanges. It's Justin's son. There's rumors of sanctions coming against some of these big boys. I wouldn't be surprised. Elizabeth Warren is out there praising Bitcoin, but she knows how much she hates.
coming back
Exactly.
to the U.S.
It seems like everything's kind of lining up there. And what's the issue? Well, everything's running up to all-time highs, and nobody's pricing in any of these things. So just to keep an eye on that in the crypto market. I love myself a good Tether inside information. I don't have any of that, but I definitely like to keep up on the news to see what's going on there, maybe fit the narrative to why the price is acting the way it is. But right now, that's pretty much a recap of what I've been keeping an eye on, other than Nvidia.
Speaking of, still no earnings. Every minute that goes by, quarter past
4 minutes we got.
Is it 4:20
3:20?
Eastern?
Yeah, 4:20 Eastern for them.
See, Jensen, notorious stoner, had to choose 4:20 to release the earnings. I will say Twitter has been hilarious today. I'm going to share. I'm going to pull up one of my current favorite tweets from Twitter user Vidamo. Finger on the nuke all trigger of my 2 million market cap utility plays while listening to Nvidia earnings. I will not be caught off guard. Yes, this is going to destroy everything if we don't come through. So good call out on that one. Go ahead.
Please have it. Whatever you do, make sure you're not using Xfinity if you got your finger over that, because you will just lose internet and you'll be fucked. Again, that's just a joke. We've had a lot of problems with Xfinity in the past, Jweb and I, so that's just a personal anecdote. But yeah, I mean, it's hilarious how Twitter has been. I saw Jim Cramer just like, I don't know, just like kissing Jensen's ass at this point. I saw him talking about how he's like Taylor Swift. some bad references.
Nvidia should just lie. I mean, people have done it before, right? Like, it's always worked out in the past.
The thing with Nvidia, again, I'm not saying he's wrong, but vendor financing, those numbers might not be a lie, but they sure as hell ain't 100% the truth. So that's a great strategy.
Just lie.
Well, that's what you do when you go to the dentist, right? When he's like, have you been flossing?
There's a term for that. It's called fraud. Okay, we got about a minute and a half. Everything is just, we're sitting here waiting. This is the biggest moment of our lives, and I'm happy to share all of it with the four of you watching at the moment. Chris, Mark, yeah, go ahead.
Rivian just laid off 1,400 people.
Yeah.
Their stock is going down like crazy right now.
Nothing new there.
Yeah, I mean, we don't like Rivian, but at the same time, it's still interesting. What are they down right now? Post market, they are down 16%.
Coinbase got slapped around pretty good today.
Oh, let's do this for
1 minute.
We're gonna talk about Palo Alto Networks, which who really cares? It's cybersecurity, but the chart's pretty funny. So obviously this is where they were yesterday up here, and this is where they closed the day today. So
damn,
that's
not good.
What are they down? 28%? 28% today. That's what you get for being a little greedy son of a bitch.
It's true. That is what you get for being a little greedy son of a bitch. Man, all right. We got like a minute. These fucking earnings.
For now. Still seeing you know what? Before we get into Nvidia earnings, have your finger on that trigger ready to go when that pulls up. I want to just show this. This is initial and continuing. Yeah, so I'm pulling this up right here. Continuing jobs claims. People were talking about, jobs are up in February. Well, if they're up, then how come there's still people on unemployment and it's slowly going up? I call bullshit, like I've been doing for the past 3 years. Yeah, so that's just something to keep in mind, right? And the last time we saw kind of like teetering on this, just to show you, for some context, right here, teetering,
Well,
and then
we're moving up in the after hours a little bit.
let's pull up
Getting a
Nvidia.
little
Let's see what we're doing.
movement. We're getting some movement, Kevin.
I'm
All of a
scared. In
sudden,
3,
we're up 16. Oh, nope, come back down a little. Where is the fucking earnings report?
693 right now.
I'm
680,
just waiting.
683. Oh,
I'm just waiting
volatility.
for it's all over the place. Like the Squid Games coin moment. Like, oh, it went to 0. Like,
Yeah, I gotta pull this up on the daily.
That's what I'm looking at. Still
26%. 26%. Let's go.
What's happening?
No, I'm just waiting for a 26% drop on the chart while we're talking. That Squid Game moment. That's where the red line down here is for.
Oh, yeah. That one right there. Nice. Where the fuck is this? Like, they're late.
They're like, you know what they're doing? Jensen's like writing on a piece of paper, like, add another zero. I'm just kidding. Joke. Allegedly. Joke.
Oh, now it's down in the after. Oh, it's going south.
26%. 26%. 26%.
Jesus.
Again, I'm not trying to be a maniac here, but imagine if the math worked out that way, right? It's funny too, because the top 7 hold 26. So for every $1, there's 26 cents they go to those top 7 in the S&P right now. There it is, 650. Oh, sub. We're gonna fill this gap down here.
Baby, we are going lower.
634 gap's gonna get filled.
Oof,
it's gonna. Oh no, you bitch!
Bounce back up now, dude. Where are the fucking numbers? Like, I also
that's what we all been waiting for.
Yeah, like we're just sitting here, like fucking flicking our dicks, waiting for this goddamn earnings report to come out. Hi, Mama.
Market's moving on Facebook right now.
God damn it! What is
fucking? I'm pulling up Zero Hedge. See what the hell he's saying. Come on. Oh, here it is. Got it. Zero Hedge got the numbers.
Nvidia's trending. This should have been my fault. I just should have sold the rest of it.
Revenue 22. Revenue 22 billion.
So they beat on the estimate for revenue. They beat on margin. I mean, I think they beat on everything.
Are they profitable year over year though? I think that's the big question. I don't think the market's cared about that for a long fucking time, but it's still a big question. Yeah. Let me pull up the screen back again.
Yeah, it's fighting its way back up to where it closed on the day. Now it's only down 1.5%. I'm still not. They're just not gonna put. Hey, there we go.
They got the numbers.
They didn't put up. They have the webcast. They have the CFO commentary.
Well, he talks at 5:00 today, I think, right?
Yeah, probably. Okay, so we got Q4 fiscal year revenue 22.1 billion, gross margin 76, operating net income 12.28 billion. Pretty good. It's higher than last year. Oh man. Up 33% quarter over quarter and up 769% year over year. That doesn't sound like a real number.
Because it probably isn't. Vendor financing, everybody.
That's fine.
Show me the money.
Give me one more fraudulent earnings to pump it up. Listen, Kev, all I need is this to go to like $800 and I can sell the rest of my shares and never have to think about it again.
Hey, man, I want nothing but the best for you. And I want nothing but the worst for...
we're on our way. It's on its way back up. People are seeing the numbers. They're seeing this up 765% net income number.
Quick, put your Apple Vision Pros back on. That way you can't see shit.
Oh, God. Let's see.
683. Yeah, the best thing is it's still not 746. Like, it's not an all-time high. It's just bouncing back a little bit from the past few days. We're up $12, guys. Interesting. I'll be interested to see how this plays in an hour. Right? Once that conference call happens. I think all CEOs should have a lie detector, like electrodes to their balls when they give these.
Electrodes to their balls, and Kevin is the one who's pressing the button.
Oh yeah. I'll just tape the button down.
just I'm just envisioning Jensen sitting there sweating, and then it's just like goes full on Marv from Home Alone 2, where he's just like getting zapped, and like you can see his skeleton and the hair is going crazy. Oh my god, I'm losing my fucking mind.
Yeah.
All right, I mean, it beat, and the market's just kind of like, whatever. So just kind of hanging out. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get more for the earnings call here in a little bit.
Let's see how the other stocks are doing. Tech. Apple, you're still the bane of my fucking existence. Go into that 200 EMA.
Apple's down a little bit. I mean, it doesn't really look like
Tesla's down 1%
a whole lot is happening in the after hour. Yeah, Tesla's down. Amazon and Google are basically flat. Netflix is pretty flat. I think that the market was expecting that they would beat, and they beat, and now we're just kind of sitting here. It wasn't the fact that it's up that much year over year and the market's just kind of like, okay, that's what we were expecting, is pretty wild. I don't think we're going to have another Palo Alto situation right now.
Bastards. That's why we were live this time of the day, too. We wanted to get our Squid Game thumbnail.
Oh, man. Well, I think we'll have plenty more opportunities for that in the not too distant future. Don't you worry. All right. I got nothing else to say. I don't think you have much else either. Anticlimactic. Nvidia beat in every category, and the market's kind of
oh, man.
What if they just lie? What if they just lie?
What if they did?
What if just like,
allegedly?
They're like, oh, shit. We should try that real quick. All right.
What an idea.
That's going to do it for today. We'll be back to close out. We got a few more days left in the trading week. We'll be back. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day. I did too. And we got, goddamn, we're both hitting this button at the same time. We got fuck all as far as volatility went, Mark. I guess we're going up a little bit right now. We'll see what happens. Maybe it gets real weird here in about 33 minutes when the conference call starts, but we're certainly not going to be live for that. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. If you haven't yet, like, subscribe, comment, share us out. All that good stuff is appreciated. Talk to you all later. Take care.
Later, everyone. Take care.